Hello and welcome to a rather long transcription explanation video. In this video, I'm not only going to be talking about the letter by letter how to read these designs, I'm also going to go through, after I go through the transcription, of how to line things up a little bit to make the designs hopefully work out when you're copying them. Anyway, these were all done using Loren Sherman script, which here's the key here if you don't trust me here. But anyway, below the designs, I have keyed them out just so you can help spell check yourself. So a W is a shallow divot with with 2 lines on it, and then the I has 1 line on it. So a WI together looks kind of like this, with the shallow divot with 2 lines and the I with 1 line. LL, 2 lines of the same thickness. This doesn't show that they're the same thickness very well because I went over the inner one again. Anyway, 2 concentric circles with the same thickness with 3 dots is a double L. Though this really looks like an LJ because this is thicker. You shouldn't trust this completely. This is here for your reference. It's just to help kind of guide you. Anyway, double L, same thickness, not different thickness. In the design itself, same thickness. And then Y's are on the line, and then O's are on the line of the word circle. I'm misspeaking a lot. This is like take 4, by the way, on this, because the first time I messed up a thing, the second time it got corrupted, the third time I messed up another thing, and now this is take 4. So we're gonna go. Y has 2 dots on the line of the word circle, O towards the inside of the word circle, and on the line of the consonant stem. U's have a line going outwards. And I stacked the P, L, and E all together in please. So the L, 3 dots, P, 2 lines, E in the middle of the P with nothing on it. This is by itself. So here's an actual thicker and thinner one. So you read the thin one first and then the thick one, and then you always read the vowel last. So I didn't do this very carefully, just to kind of grump. Enough grumping. Okay, let's go. Let's talk about this. Okay. Here's the L, here's the P, here's the E. You read thin to thick, vowels are always last. So P with 2 lines, L 3 dots, E in the middle of it, A outside the word circle, S 1, 2, 3 lines on the S. S's have 3 lines. E at the end of the word circle with no modifiers. So please. N, 1 line on the N. O on the line of the word circle. T, shallow divot, no modifiers. And then this deep divot is the deep divot of the next word. And it has a dot on the line of the stem. So this dot is not touching this stem, which is why it is on the stem it's touching and not on the stem it's not touching. So N-O-T, N-O-T. D has 3 dots, 1, 2, 3 dots. I has a line going towards the middle. E, it's important that this line ends on this S and not on this word circle. E at the end of the word circle, and this is just part of the line of the O of the N on on. On has O, and then the N line going outwards. T, shallow divot with no modifiers is a T. H is a deep divot with 2 lines. These 2 thick lines are the H lines, and the I has a line going towards the middle. S has 3 lines on it. 1, 2, 3 lines. And then bike, B is a deep divot I, line going towards the middle. K, 2 dots on a circle inside the word circle, and then an E. And a question mark is 2 dots on the word circle line, not the word circle, on the sentence circle line or near the sentence circle line. Yeah, so that's the question mark. So about how this is set up and arranged. These are all about the same size. So when you make this, start with your will you, and everything starts with a will you, so it's pretty safe to start with that. And then take the space and divide it kind of evenly with circles. So make a circle here, circle here, circle here, circle here. These 2 don't overlap here and here, but these guys overlap here and these guys overlap here. So just fiddle with it until you get an overlapping circle here, an overlapping circle here, and then these 2 not overlapping. And then you take those divots out by erasing behind it. So erase here, and then you stick in the on, erasing here, making it fill up that space. And then you fill up the rest of the space here by making a circle that's kind of concentric around the U. So yeah, and then on this line, I stack the PLE. A outside it, filling up the last little bit here. S. Okay, so with these guys lining up, at the very bottom here, if you make a straight line connecting through to this corner here, and then this dropping down, if this line, you want this line to cross right at the bottom of this word circle, and go straight through it to as far to the side as it goes. This knot then starts at the bottom of that, so it goes knot die. So yeah, these are in line here, and this connects up to where this would go. So this is all in line here. So yeah, those are the things for tracing this one. Here's the next one. So, will you marry me? And this one, before I get into the description, I'm going to talk a bit about the layers. The pencil, I was going to do the pencil as dark green. So we have big dark green patches here, here, and here. And then on top of them, I have the light green details. So it's kind of like the dark green making the sort of skeleton behind the design. And then the light green being the more details on top of the design. And man, I've been talking for like 2 hours straight, so I'm losing my voice. Not going to cancel it. No more takes. No take 5. This is okay. So, will you done the same as before, and then marry me. So I'm actually going to go and talk about the style. So there's a big old chunk of the circle taken up by this line from the M, and then inside that is the marry, and this is filling up all of the space above the U. So just fill up all the space with this marry circle, and then filling up the rest of the corner space is the me circle. So this almost touches here, but it doesn't. There's a little gap here, and then otherwise you fill the space here. So M has 1, 2, 3 lines, and then the E has nothing on it. So this is the me. Bottom of the word circle starts here. It's important that this little E is not at the bottom, because if it were at the bottom, it would be the first letter, but if it's not at the bottom, it's the last letter, because you read bottom counterclockwise. So here's the M first, and then the E second. So yeah, marry me. Here's the M on marry, 1, 2, 3 lines on that M. A outside the word circle. Here's the double R, and I kind of messed up tracing it here. This is supposed to have 2 concentric lines like this, but this kind of hides the line here. Sharpies bleed a lot. I stopped. This was actually the first one I traced. I started tracing the finer details with a fine liner instead of a Sharpie. So anyway, 1, 2, 3 dots on the R and 2 dots on the Y. So it's important that these dots are not closer towards the sentence circle, and are either equidistant between the word circle and the sentence circle. Otherwise, they look like a question mark. They look kind of like a question mark anyway, but hey, they're dots on a Y because they're a little bit closer to the Y than to the thing. Or that's my excuse. Context rules all, really. But I wanted them to look the same here to kind of match stylistically. But, yeah, they're the dots on the Y. These are on the line of... These are the question mark. They look the same. But anyway, let's go ahead and get to the next one. I think I talked about all I need to talk about. Oh, for the black one, I won't have this gray background stuff. It'll just be the main black design. Okay, here's the next one. So will you hit the slopes with me? Here's the will you. H has 2 lines. I has a line going towards the middle. T is a shallow divot with no modifiers. THE. S has 1, 2, 3 lines on it, another S at the end of it. Here's the LO, 3 dots on the L. O is inside the word circle and on the line of the consonant stem. P, 1, 2 lines on the P, E right in the middle of that. So S, L, O, P, E, S. W, 1, 2 lines on the W, I. So this is really similar to this W, I. And then a TH by itself. And then me, done just the same as before. So as far as lining stuff up here, when you have the will you done, go ahead and fill up the space on top of the U with the slopes. Slopes is going to be your biggest word circle. And then at the bottom here, you're going to fill in with the hit the. So hit is pretty darn low because we don't want the T crossing the middle because then it'd be the first letter. But because it doesn't cross the middle, it's the last letter. So we want the hit being quite low, and then the being just filling up this corner here, because you're going to erase to give space for the by making the S divot on slopes. And then you're going to make a nice line from the L connecting down here, which is where you're going to line up the me. And then I put in the line here and here, yeah, grump. Now I'm talking about something that's a different pattern, but meh. Okay, so once you have the me in, then you put in the with. It just fills up the rest of the space between the me and the slopes, and then you put a big old deep divot If you run out of room in this corner for the TH, you could put the TH in this corner, and that would be fine as well. I had to make a choice of putting it here and leaving an awkward empty space here, or putting it here and leaving an awkward empty space here, and there's where I happened to draw it, so it's there. But if this ends up being too tight, you can always put it there. This is concentric with slopes. This little bit is concentric with the line here to kind of match the concentric WI here. Yeah, that's it. This should be a pretty easy one to copy. This is probably going to be the easiest one to copy. Okay. Oof, duh. Okay, will you go on an adventure with me? So here's the will you. Go on and are all very similar. Here's the line of the G. Here's the line of the N. There's the line of the other N. So they all kind of line up together, all in line with this N here. So they kind of radiate nicely. And just like the last one, when you're drawing this, you want your biggest word to be first so you know you have room for it. So again, right on top of this U in the same kind of size and position of slopes, you're going to have adventure, because it's a big word. So A-D-V-E-N-T-U-R-E. And again, if you want to double check me on my dots and lines, here it is here. So A-D-V-E-N, well, V-E, the V's together, N-T-U-R-E. Yeah, okay. W-I, line going towards the middle, T-H, M-E, done just like before. It's important that this M is never in the top half. It's okay if it's kind of towards the middle, but really it's supposed to be smidgen towards the bottom, so that way it looks like it's the first letter and not like up here where this would be complicated. Anyway, but here we have some patterns. So this line goes all the way through and lines up with the VE here, and this line goes through, and you could, instead of doing the will with the I with the curving line going out towards the side, you could put the I like right here. And have its line going towards the middle and connecting up with the N and neatly like cutting the LL in half. I think that would look nicer, but you get to choose whether you want it to look slightly nicer, I think, or if you want it to match the other wills. Okay, so other things. Once you have this done, the next thing I do is put in these three guys, little ones right in the corner here, just kind of arc it up. And then I would put in the me to make sure I have these concentric lines working out. And then the next thing I do is put this arc right where those concentric lines cross to get that effect. And then on the line of this arc is where I'd put the with, meaning the W-I and the TH, on this line neatly. And then here's that concentric R on R. It goes around the TH. And then going around that, I have the line from the U and the line from the I connecting up. So that's where the I has to go if we're going to make it match the U here. So there's not much room for the W. So W is this shallow divot here, and then the two lines kind of arc through here. It's important we can see this little arc coming up through here, so it doesn't look like any lines end on the TH, because THs have no modifiers. So yeah, that's that design. Okay, here's the next one. So typical will you, and then we have a stacked T, you read thin to thick, so T has no modifiers, R, and it's important that there's enough space here. You can see this line connecting not to the T, otherwise it would be a V, like this V, so V has one line on it, and it's okay to end lines on the word circle. So T-R-A-V-E-L with 3 dots, T-H-E, I'll talk about the dots later, W, 2 lines on the W-O, R, 3 dots on the R, 3 dots on the L, 3 dots on the D. So world, W-I-T-H. It's important that this W crosses the middle here. And then I did the me very similarly, M-E. So the dots. These 3 dots are part of the R. These 3 dots are part of the L. These 3 dots are part of the D. These 3 dots are part of the L. And then these 3 dots are part of the R. You can have them kind of scattered around wherever you like, so long as this dot is like, you have 3 dots here, 3 dots here, 3 dots here, 3 dots here, and 3 dots here. 3 dots on everything. Nothing in this has 2 dots. 3 dots on everything. Well, except for the Y on you. And then the question mark is 2 dots. So, yeah. The TH is the easiest thing to sneak in. So as far as setting this up, just have your big circles first. I would do this one kind of on top. Here, here. Fill in your little circles afterwards. And then do this concentric thing sometime. It's slightly non-concentric. The hardest stuff to line up is this line. So when you do this word, And this word, I guess this is the word you should do first. Yeah, do travel first, so that way you can get your concentric arc. That'll be the first word on world, the first letter on world, and then make this line connect from world to where your M on me is going to be, because it's important that this line ends on the stem and not on the O. So this is pretty clutch right here as far as making this line end on the stem and still in line with the O, but ending on the stem and not ending on the O, because it interrupts here, and this line is determined by this word. So yeah, anyway, do this little tricky bit first, and the rest can kind of go wherever. Okay. Last one, we're almost done, and I can get a glass of water, and maybe my throat will stop trying to kill me. Okay, so, will you? And then here's our next word. Marry, 3 lines on the M, A, outside the word circle. Here's something I wish I kind of changed. So I put the 2 R's separate. I didn't stack them. I could have stacked them on top of each other like the double L. And if I did stack them, this is how I would do it. I'd put them both here. I would stack them both here next to the me, and I'd have this chain of dots just keep going straight, because I have to curve this around to make this dot part of this R instead of part of this R, which I don't like having that little merp. I'd rather it just be straight. So anyway, if we do the double R, then we have these 3 dots here, only 3 dots because we only need the 1 set of modifiers if it's a double letter. So just get rid of this R, put a double line here. So then there's Mary, and then me, M-E, and then already A-L-R-E-A-D-Y. So 3 dots on the L, and then this R has 1 dot right here, and then these 2 dots here making a chain here. And then these 3 dots on the D is part of the chain between the A and the E on me. And then Y, again, is part of this chain with these 2 dots here. It's important that this dot is substantially further away from the Y than other things, otherwise it will look like a Z with 3 dots. Yeah, so, because these have 3 dots. So this is, honestly, I think all of them having the question mark touching will make it look more clear that these are punctuation dots and not part of the word circle. But it's okay if they're inside as they are in all of the sketches. So yeah, that's that design. I'm going to get a glass of water now. Take 4 is a charm. Hopefully this one doesn't get corrupted. Bye. Oh, and also, good luck. I hope he says yes.